If you're a Montreal Canadiens fan, you may not be the happiest right now. Sure, the team is scoring goals, but there have been a lot of frustrating things that have been happening in these Habs games recently that have been inducing a lot of rage amongst the fan base. So this video is going to be more of a positive one because I'm a generally positive person. I mean, I don't want to say that. I'm quite negative internally, but I try not to show it. But the positivity is something that I will try to ignite here today, because we're going to be talking about Nick Suzuki and the fact that he has taken such a huge step up in the absence of Paul Byron and of Jonathan Drouin so far that I can't believe it. Honestly, Nick Suzuki currently is on a 5-game point streak, and in the past 5 games he has scored 8 points, which may not seem like a huge number, but when you take a look at it, Nick Suzuki is a 20-year-old guy who just recently made the team, who wasn't even a Montreal draft pick, and who was sent over here in the Pacioretty trade. So Nick Suzuki today is at a pretty good number. He's sitting all the way up there at a pretty solid however many points he has in however many games he has played so far. He's all the way up there at 23 points in 39 games. Keep that up for about 82 games, he's on pace for about 47, 48 points. For a first-year rookie, 20 years old, and only 5'11", I really like the sound of that. And this recent stretch of 8 points in 5 games is a huge step up for the young Hab. So let's go over all his points right now and just talk about the things that I like about his game that he's been really showcasing as of late, just so we can have a little bit of that positive energy and have a little bit more to look forward to as the Canadian season trots along, because we are at the halfway mark here. Nick Suzuki scored his first point in this great point streak that he is on currently against the Calgary Flames, and boy oh boy was that a crazy goal. It was the goal that sent the Flames into overtime. It was the game-tying goal, 3-3. He was parked out in front of the net, and he did a really good job boxing out the defender. It was Ryan out in front. The pass comes over to Suzuki. It's like a low shot looking out for a rebound, but Suzuki is there, gets the stick down, and he tips it perfectly up and over the shoulder of David Riddick, and that was a crazy good tip. What a great goal scored by Nick Suzuki, one of the more impressive ones he's scored all year. An excellent showcase of that vision, the puck skills, and the awareness to be out there on the ice in that position. Going over 2 days later against the Edmonton Oilers, Nick Suzuki is out there on the power play. Power play 1 is where he's out, and he receives the puck over on the right side, comes in, wrists a shot towards the net. It gets blocked, then it gets played back over to Suzuki, then he plays it back over to Petrie at the point, who takes a wicked slap shot. He shoots it, he scores it. Nick Suzuki's on 2 points in 2 games. That's a nice one. Obviously, it's awesome to see Suzuki getting that power play time, and you could be debating as to whether or not Suzuki should be getting more time in general, but the fact is he's been playing at center, and he's been playing in a pretty great role in the absence of Drouin and of Byron, so that's 2 games down in the books. Give it another 2 days, and then against the Winnipeg Jets, Nick Suzuki gets 2 assists to end off the game. It's the 1-1 goal and the 5-2 goal. It starts off on the first power play marker in the first period for the Habs. Nick Suzuki gets the pass on the right side there, again on the power play 1, then feeds a cross-crease pass right over to Tatar, who takes it, he shoots it, it's in the net. Really nice vision from Suzuki here, getting the peace of mind, threading the needle, and having the confidence to do that on the grand stage. Really nice showcase of his talent, his puck skills, his accuracy over there. Then take it over into the second period, where Nathan Beaulieu, yeah, that guy, takes it, and he's spinning around in his own zone trying to get a breakout pass, but there's a problem. Because there's a Nick Suzuki who is in the zone, roving around trying to block that pass. He does that very successfully. He just gets the stick out there. Beaulieu turns around, tries to shoot it up, but Suzuki is there, sends it over across, and after a few scrambling plays by the Habs later, Domi eventually pots it in. Suzuki with the secondary assist. So he has 2 points in this one. He's up to 4 points in his last 3 games. That was the biggest stretch that he has had pretty much throughout this entire season. He hasn't had a point streak like that at all. Give it a few more days, and then against the Tampa Bay Lightning, this is where things start to crack down a little bit. Becomes a little bit more frustrating to watch for Habs fans. Suzuki gets 1 assist against the Lightning in the 5-4 loss there. A game where the Lightning didn't shoot for the first 10 minutes or something like that. At one point, Montreal was up 2-0, and the shots on goal were 17-0 Montreal. Then the Lightning came alive, they woke up, ended off the first period being down in shots 20-10, so they got 10 shots to close out the period, where the Canadiens got 3 in that span. Canadiens were up 2-0. The 2-0 goal was a Max Domi goal assisted by Suzuki. Suzuki, from his own blue line, starts out the breakout, sends one over to Domi on the left wing, streaking in. Domi shoots it, he scores it. It's under review after a while because they don't actually know that it crosses the goal line, but Suzuki gets his point in that one. The Canadiens eventually lose because Victor Hedman is a beast, and that one was really frustrating to watch as a Habs fan, but when you're playing a good Lightning team, you expect the best competition. It's just when you hold the team off to, 10 minutes without a shot in the first period and you get up 2-0 on them, it kind of feels like you should win. Didn't happen, though. Then give it the next game, the most recent Montreal Canadiens game played, the Florida Panthers, a 6-5 losing effort, where Nick Suzuki has probably his best statistical performance out of any game this season so far. It's a career high, 3 points in one game. And that rounds off his point-scoring streak here. He's got himself 8 points in his last 5, which is a really, really good number. 8 divided by 5 times 82, that's a 131-point pace, which is obviously not sustainable because Suzuki is 20 years old and he is in a little bit of a hot streak right now, but that's just to put things into perspective how good this point streak actually is. Obviously not trying to insinuate that he's going to continue at that pace, but it's nice to see him at this pace than not. This is the game where Huberdeau and Barkov were absolutely nuts. My goodness, did these two put on a show. But Nick Suzuki also put on a show too, getting 3 assists on the first 3 Habs goals of the night. First of the night, Nick Suzuki gets a nice pass from Petrie again on the power play, again on the right side. He's found a home there. Takes it in, walks it in, then he does a nice little backhand pass over to Petrie, sends it over to Tatar. Boom, it's in the net. 1 goal for the Habs, 1 point for Suzuki. Then give it a bit in the second period, it's 4-on-4. Suzuki's in a puck battle for that on the half boards in the Panthers zone. Centers it over for Petrie, who swoops in into the slot, shoots it and scores it. Second Habs goal of the night, second Suzuki point of the night. Then the next goal, Suzuki sends one up over to Kulak, who comes in, does his own thing in the zone, spins around, centers it for Domi, who shoots and scores. Nick Suzuki has 3 assists in one game. 1 primary assist and 2 secondary assists. Really awesome performance from him. Then, as I said, the Canadiens did end up losing because Huberdeau and Barkov were setting their own franchise records and just totally putting on a show. What a crazy performance by those two. But Suzuki gets the spotlight here for 8 points in 5 games in a season where things aren't necessarily amazing for the Habs, and in a little stretch where things haven't been going nearly as well as they could have for Montreal's faithful. It is awesome to see Suzuki on this hot streak, getting these points and finding a very comfortable spot on that right side on the power play for Montreal. Hope you enjoyed this video, and bye.